Good morning from Brigham City, Utah, named after, of course, Brigham Young, the early Mormon leader, for his accomplishments in this area. We are going to explore Brigham City today and see what's here. I know there's a museum. We're going to talk about some Mormon history here and just see what this little city has to offer. Why don't you come with me?
After spending the night at the Best Western, I drove into town to check out this pretty little city. Of course, with all of these Mormon towns and cities, at the center of everything is the temple, tabernacle, or local parish of some kind. Fun fact, for those that don't know, in these Mormon towns and cities, the streets are numbered in such a way so that the Mormon place of worship is the 0 block, and then the street numbers increase as you get farther away from that place of worship. Something I never knew until I started my rural road trips. The historic Box Elder Tabernacle is right across the street from the much more modern Brigham City Temple, which was dedicated in 2012. The Box Elder Tabernacle did have a sign saying that you could schedule tours, but I had other places to be later in the day, so I didn't get to go see the inside. Brigham Young laid the cornerstone for the tabernacle in May of 1865, but that original building burned in 1896 and was rebuilt into the building that you still see here today in 1897. The first settlers began to arrive in this area in 1851, building a fort known as Davis Fort, now known as Old Fort. Settlers started to spread out from the fort, building farms, but would later be instructed by President Brigham Young to return to the safety of the fort, as the local Native Americans were obviously not very welcoming to these white invaders on their lands. In 1853, Lorenzo Snow led 50 families to move up to the settlements in the Box Elder area. By 1855, the city plan had been surveyed out, and log cabins are being built outside of the fort area, the beginnings of what is now Brigham City. One such log cabin can still be seen outside of the city museum. From the start, Brigham City was designed to be a Mormon cooperative movement community, meaning that people would work communally on farms and industries instead of private ownership. Money was quite scarce in those early days of the city. People would trade goods and services and would even use their time as a form of payment, with many men devoting 10% of their time as a form of tithe, in efforts to build some of the buildings put in place by the church, starting with the courthouse. By 1856, Brigham City was made the county seat of Box Elder County, which it still is today, with the courthouse, built in 1886, proudly taking a prominent place in the downtown area and continuing to serve in an official capacity today for county business, but with the newer 1st District Court nearly across the road from the historic county courthouse building. Right next door to the courthouse building is the City Hall, originally built as a fire department, a very unique and historic-looking building that still has that old-timey firehouse look to it. The city co-op that the town's economy was originally developed around eventually went into receivership, and the city moved on to a more traditional cash-based economy, and both the enterprises and the population of the area grew, even though it would remain a small Mormon agricultural town with a focus on fruit production, such as peaches. In fact, the town is known for its annual Peach Festival still today. The establishment of the Bushnell General Hospital, which treated soldiers in World War II, and new industrial development in the area in the 1950s would double the population of the little city by 1960. Today, Brigham City has a population of over 20,000 people and remains a mostly Mormon community, with enough shopping and restaurant options to adequately serve the size of a city. The City Museum, which is partly a historical museum and partly an art exhibit, has free admission and events, such as a Puppets in the Park event going on when I was there. While it won't take you long to go through the museum, it was set up fairly professionally for being such a small museum. Right across the interstate from Brigham City is the Bear River Migratory Bird Reserve, which has a really nice visitor center and plenty of paths to go exploring on, either to see birds or just to get out and enjoy nature. However, since I was visiting in July, the hottest month of the year, I just walked the shortest loop path and headed back to the car. I definitely think it is worth visiting, though, and supposedly you can see quite a variety of birds here in this unique wetlands environment at the mouth of the Bear River, as millions of birds stop here during their yearly migrations. Perhaps I will stop by again sometime to stretch my legs if I'm passing by here on the interstate. We'll see you next time somewhere else down the road.